Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel The Taskmaster. So today we are going to do something called input. So now we've learned about data, we've learned how to print data. So today we are going to learn how to input data, how to take data from a user to be used in the program. So for that we first give name to a variable. So like for example, it can be a, it can be anything you want, but you have to make sure that it is a letter, it is words, it cannot be symbol, it cannot be any number or a symbol, otherwise it can give an error. And your name of a variable can have multiple letters, but it cannot have any symbols or numbers, so you have to make sure about that, otherwise you may have an error. So after you have named your variable, you're going to put the equal to sign, and then after that we are going to write the word input, and then in bracket we can give anything that we want as a question to be asked to the user. So what input does is it prints the string that you have put inside the brackets, and whatever is typed in answer to that by the user is stored in this variable. The variable that you named in the starting, it's going to store the answer in this variable. So now I'm can like ask what is your name. So we can, it's not compulsory to put the colon, but I just put it because it seems appropriate, because the answer is typed just after the data, the string you have given. So we close the bracket, and then when we run this, you will see that it is written console limit reached. If you have actually tried the other my previous two series, my previous two videos, if you have tried doing it in different files, in this file you will see this when you click on run, console limit reached. So what happens is, you have to first go back. So what happens here is that when you run some program, even after you've closed everything, the console, the black box inside, it keeps running. And according, since we are using the basic pack, we can only have two consoles open at the time. So now since we have two consoles open, we will go back to the home page and we will click on the view all option in the consoles tab. We'll click on view all, and you will see it will show all the consoles that are open, that you had opened but you have still not closed. So when you click on this close button, see, now session 1 went off the list, and we are also going to do the same with this. So unless you did not have anything important still running on your console, you can close it, because otherwise in your later programs will not run. Unless you take a paid pack which has a better limit, you won't be able to do more programs unless you close the previous ones. So now we'll go back to our file, and now we will click on run. And as you've seen, since we closed the two consoles, now we can open this one. And you have noticed that it has written here what is your name, the thing that I had put in quotes up here, and then after that there is a red triangle. That red triangle is actually the cursor of the console. The cursor looks like an eye on the normal system. It is a red rectangle here. So we click here, and then we can type anything. For example, I'm going to type my name, and then we click on enter. So after we clicked on enter, the word taskmaster has been stored in this variable a. Now whenever this variable a is used further in this program, you will notice that the word taskmaster is being used instead of the variable when the program runs. So this is what a variable does. It stores some value till it is used. So now we are going to do three more questions like this. So now I will give another variable b. I will input. I will ask the age and number. I have this, and also do not accidentally put two equal to's, because that has a completely different meaning, which we will see too in further classes. And here I'm asking what is your number. When we run the program, we'll see. Now first it will start the program from the starting. It will first ask my name. If the rectangle is hollow, it means that your cursor in the console is not active. So you just click inside the console once and then you start typing. So I've written my name. Then when I click enter, you notice that the second line of the code has automatically started, and it is asking me for my age. So I'm going to put my age, press enter again, and now it is asking me for my number. I'll just put anything, and yeah, and now when I click on enter, so this, it has accepted all these three values, and it has stored it in the respective variables. And now we can check that what is the data type of our input. So on the next line, like I had shown in the first class, how to check the data type of different data, we will write print. In the bracket we'll first write type, and now inside this you'll think that we have written it in the console. Do we have to write it again in this print statement? The answer is no. This is where your variables come in hand. We will write a, b, comma and c. So when the program runs, since these values were stored in these variables, when these variables are executed, the compiler will take these as these values that were stored in them, and it will give the data type respectively. So we close both the brackets, and now we'll click on run. We will have to give our name, age and number again. Age. And also once you've clicked enter, you cannot change the value on the previous line again, because now it has been stored in the variable for that run. For that you will have to rerun the program, and if your program is long, that is going to be tedious, so you have to be careful. And now after entering the last data, when we click on enter, something had happened to my PC a few minutes back. I think it had gone on hang. The whole system crashed, so I had to restart it. So we'll start from where the recording cut. So here what we have done is we want to print the type of each or a variable, the each answer of each question that has been stored in these variables. So we have to write an individual type statement and we have to separate it with commas inside one big bracket, and you have to make sure that you have to keep the variables inside brackets, and you have to keep that in mind. You have to be careful because sometimes the number of brackets can get messy when you have a very complicated program. It happens, but if you stay careful it will not happen. So now we write our name, our age, and a number, just a random number. So now it has printed the data types of each value. Now we will question that our age and number was an integer. Then why has it done this? Why are all of these in string? So what happens is the input function by default converts all the data to string data type, be it a number, a symbol, some letters, whatever is input automatically changes to string. But this can be changed. Though by default it converts it to string, there is an option by which you can keep your numbers. You can keep it in that integer data type. You can keep it in the character data type, not character data type, in the decimal, the float data type. You can do that, and for that, what you have to do is we simply have to write the required data type. For example, I am going to write int since I want my age to be an integer data type. We will put that input statement in another pair of brackets. This is exactly what we did in the first class to change a string to integer data type. So what this does is, no matter whatever data type was inside this, since I've written int here, it is going to be changed into the integer data type, and now whatever will be stored in the variable b is going to be an integer. So now when we run this, I do the whole thing again, write my age, a random number. Now when I press enter, you've noticed that the second one, that is the variable b, has a data type of the integer. This is because we had written int and we put another set of brackets outside that input statement. So that way you can keep it a float, you can keep it a boolean, you can change the data type like this. This is exactly how we were doing, how I had shown you in the first video. So this is how this happened. And also even a number, I didn't do it right now, but even the number you can keep it in integer since it is a set of 10 digits. And so this was all about input. This was a really simple concept because it doesn't have much to explore about, but it is really important because giving input to the system is a very important part of a program. Any program you'll probably require to give some input, and for that you need to know how to use the input function. And so today this is the homework. Now you'll say that exactly this thing I had given in the last class also, but this time what is the different thing I want you to do is, before you just had to print the correct data type and you have to actually write this in the code, but this time you have to give this input statement. You have to use the input statement, you have to store it in variables, and after each line you have to give the data type. So it should look like this. You have to ask the question and you have to keep it like this. See, like this, it should look like this, but you have to give the input statement. In the last time I had just asked you that you have to print, you have to simply print it. You have to simply write inside the brackets whatever data it was and give its data type. But here you have to input that data. It has to be directly shown on the console. So I hope you will try this at home. Please do. It's for your own help. I just want people to do programming. It is fun. It is definitely not boring. It is an interesting. You can do it as a hobby. You can do it as a profession. It has large scope. So if you have any doubts, you can put it in my email ID, thetaskmaster2404@gmail.com. I'm going to put the email ID in the description too. Please don't forget to see my other videos. This is the Taskmaster signing off. Bye.